followed you for a while with your transition, and specifically the transition of essentially paying for your diamonds to get into all of these things. I am currently paying for a good portion of my diamond, and I don't want to. So how did you make that transition to not be so involved in that?
Yes. Okay. So my diamond, I never really controlled much with my diamond other than I built my husband. But I think at the time I don't know, I really look back and I'm like, dude, what was I doing? When I went diamond, I had 5 emeralds. And like one of them was my husband. I'm like, how did I get that many out? I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. But so when I was diamond, it was just my husband, and I wasn't really controlling anybody else because I was doing the things. Like, I really do think when you do the things, you don't have to pay for all the things. But then I started hitting points where I hit diamond and I slipped into like manager mode or leader mode. I've heard it called so many different things. It's a real freaking thing. It happened to me when I hit elite too. It's a real thing that all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't need to do a power hour anymore. Now I have like people I need to manage. And then guess what? Those people don't all have the same goals as me. They don't all want to stay around. They all don't prioritize Shakeology like I do. And so sometimes it goes projected and active or whatever. And then all of a sudden I started like, I have holes. And then I went into defense mode. And so the way I got out of it is like doing the things. I feel like that's a really not sexy answer, but when I say do the things, I am very you guys know Josh Coates. Yeah. So he's like one of my favorite human beings on the planet. One of my things that he and I have talked about that he's like, I don't think you realize you're very good at this. Most people are not, which I'm like, oh, I don't know when I got good at this. So that being said, this is something you can learn because I don't know when I learned this. I got really, really, really good at gut checking myself. And the vital behaviors, there are 4 of them. You ready? Number 1, be proof they work. How many days in the last 7 days did I drink Shakeology? How many days in the last 7 days did I have energized? How many days in the last 7 days did I have hydrate? How many days in the last 7 days did I have recover? How many days in the last 7 days did I follow to be mindset to the T? I did not put nothing went in my mouth till I had 16 ounces of water. Every bite, nibble, sip, everything went in my tracker. I was on the scale every morning, first thing. And how did I and 51% of my plate was a vegetable, because that's what veggies most means, is that most of my plate was vegetables. Scale 1 to 10 out of the 7 days. I don't know how you would rate that. Scale 1 to 10 out of 7 days, but out of the last 7 days, how often did that happen? The program that I'm following, did I do the workout that was scheduled for that day, or did I decide I wanted to do something else? Okay, I did the one for the day. Did I half-ass it, or did I give it absolutely everything I could? Did I push as hard as I could? Did I use the weights that like at my absolute max? Did I go as hard as I could? Okay, that's vital behavior number 1. How many questions was that I just got checked on? Vital behavior number 2. I don't know that this is the order. I'm gonna make them in this order. Personal development. What is my mean girl telling me right now? Well, she's telling me that being a mom in the summertime with little kids is really hard, trying to prioritize being a fun mom and build a life that I want my children to remember, and also build a big business and be the leader that my team. So what is my mean girl telling me? Well, she's telling me I don't have enough time, that I'm not consistent enough, that my life is too complicated, my life is too hard. Okay. What are you reading right now for personal development? Hashtag real answer. You're reading Stories That Stick from Kendra Hall. Is Stories That Stick a bad book? No, it's freaking amazing. Kendra Hall is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. Is Stories That Stick going to make my mean girl go, oh shit, she's figuring it out? No, it's not, because they're not talking about the same thing. So I switched my personal development to something from Emily Lee. I don't know how you say her last name. Her last name is Ley, that she is a planner creator and has 3 little kids that are, when the twins were born, the oldest was only 3. So she has like 3 that were 3 and under, but now her oldest is my oldest's age, or at the time of the book. Anyway, so she's in my phase of life. And she runs a big business and has little kids, but also wants to have a clean house and wants to have time with God and wants to have a body she's proud of and got to figure out, like, you know, my family wants to eat every day. Imagine that. How am I supposed to do that? And her books are about how she does it. And it's not some magical system. It's about giving yourself grace and cutting out the fluff and figuring out, like, what is my priority? What brings me joy? And am I filling my day with those things? Is this whatever? So guess what? Switch my personal development to that. And all of a sudden my mean girl's like, oh no, she's figuring it out. And my mean girl's getting quieter. So that's number one. Am I doing PD that's like slaying the mean girl? Next question about personal development. I always have a physical and an audible. So that's my physical book. My audible book. What do I like every time I hear their voice? Just makes me like, oh my gosh, you like complete me. 2 answers right now. Sean Whalen, because he just like says the things that are like, how he has a book called there's so many books I'm reading right now about that have the word shit in it. I think his is How to Make Shit Happen. And it's about like, it's kind of like 5-second rule, but shorter. And except it's not 5-second rule. It's like, you do these 4 things in your life, you will have the best life imaginable if you can do these 4 things. But he's very like Micah. He's very Julie. He's like, to the point. I'm going to tell you what I think. Ready, here we go. So I am going back and forth between that and Unf Yourself by Gary John Bishop, which is my favorite Audible book in the whole freaking world. And every time I hear his voice, it just makes me like, I can do this. I'm relentless. I am capable. I've been through worse. This isn't going to kill me. I can, like, all of a sudden, this isn't cherry pies and bubble gum. Like, all his little phrases come in my head that I'm like, okay, now I can do this. So that's question number 2 about personal development. Question number 3, how are my affirmations? Am I listening to them every single day? I use the Think Up app. Am I listening to them? Am I paying attention when I listen to them so that they're like sinking in and I'm like, yeah, I'm capable. Like, I despite all obstacles, I am crushing this, and insert all the Alana phrases because I made affirmations about Alana's catchphrase. Am I actually paying attention? Okay, that's vital behavior number 2. Vital behavior number 3, I'm going to go faster. The tracker. Out of the last 7 days, how many days did I expand my network? How many did I connect? How many did I do at least 10 invites? How many did I do a post on social media? How many follow-ups did I send? How many call to actions did I do? When I go back in my stories, how many times did I show Shakeology, Energize, Recover, Hydrate, the bars, my workout, my meal plan, my group coaching, my family, blah, blah, blah. Insert tracker. How many times did I show, if I'm getting pushback about bod, well, it's because I'm not showing bod, which none of us, well, at least I don't think very many of us get pushback about on demand because we're really good at showing our workouts. For some reason, it's like all the other stuff we get weird about showing. But I can show Energize all day long, but I'll get in my head about showing Shakeology, and then I wonder why I get pushback on Shakeology. Well, it's because I don't show it. But I could sell Energize to a homeless person if they watch my stories because they see me mixing it every single friggin' day, and they know I won't work out without it. So when I started getting that intentional about Recover, about Shakeology, about showing my meal plan, about showing not just this is what I ate, logging in and showing like Alana, how many times did I show how I access my nutrition course? How many times did I show a PD clip? How many blah, blah. Anyway, this is all on my tracker. So that's like that vital. And then the last vital, get people results. How many rank advancements did I have this week? How many new coaches did I add to my team? How many challengers messaged me telling me that the weekly email I sent was really helpful, that there was a resource in there that they needed, that how many of my clients told me that they hit a new weight loss goal, or that I saw them do a post about how they fit into a new size pants, or, you know, that they went on they had an on-scale victory and were confident on date night, like whatever. How many, like, are people getting results with what I'm doing? Is what I'm doing working and people are getting results? And I have literally never, ever, 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 ever once gone through that whole big old checklist and then gone, no, I'm doing it all. I just don't get why, like, there's always something. And I didn't even get into like reviewing my social media and like auditing my posts to like, oh shoot, I haven't showed my food in 3 weeks. No duh, I'm having a hard time talking about 2B mindset because people think I drink shakes and work out. Like, I should probably show my food. Or no, I haven't signed a builder in a month. I haven't done a coaching post other than shouting out my coaches. I should probably talk about something I love about the business or whatever. So when I like look at all those things, I always see the spot where I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on this week. And it's just like riding a bike, that when you're riding a bike, you your weight is like tentatively shifting back and forth between your hands, but in your legs, it is majorly shifting. That on this leg, we're going to push really hard, and now we're going to push really hard, and we're going to push really hard, and your body is, you are not like perfectly still on the bike, and that's how the bike moves, and like we're just going to stay perfectly still. It's now we gotta and we're gonna and that's what you're doing with the business, that you are constantly course correcting and like seeing, this part's off, okay, now, I did too, that was a little too much, I probably got a little too heavy with that call to action, let's lean over here. And that process of being willing to audit has made it so that I'm not controlling stuff. That was a very, very, very long way of saying that. But because I don't have a hard time filling holes. If I am having a hard time getting builders, I know why. If I'm having a hard time getting elite points and my coaches aren't hitting Success Club, there's literally never been a month that I look at my leaderboard and go, shoot, I'm at SC 60 and no one in my team is on the board. What? Like, that's just not a thing. That's not a thing. If I'm at SC 2, how come my coaches aren't doing anything? Well, Ashley, look in the mirror. How come you're only at 2? Or even if I'm at 6 or I'm at 10, like this month, for example, I'm only at 10 right now, which is pretty low for me halfway through the month. And my team's board reflects that. And speed of the leader, speed of the pack is a real thing. And I don't have a hard time getting elite points when I'm making sure that I'm doing my own stuff. When I'm making sure that I am building to diamond every month, meaning I'm bringing in 8 new coaches and helping at least 2 of my coaches go emerald every single month, I have 0 issues popping diamonds. I will have 0 issues having coaches hit Success Club, making sure that my rank holds, making sure like those things don't become issues when you are, did that make sense? I just feel like I went on like every tangent imaginable. Did that make sense?
It did, because sometimes people will just say, I just did this. Okay, but at least you explain, like, it's the unsexy things, but you broke it down, like, so it made sense.
It really does. It really does come back to the vitals. And I think that is my favorite thing. And like when my mindset shifted in 2017, that was one of the things that like, that the vitals are not be diamond or be elite or be road to elite or be a 15-star or be top 10 or legacy club or those are not vital behaviors. Those are byproducts of the vital behaviors. And Success Club 5, Success Club 100, they're byproducts of the vitals. And so and that's awesome because the vitals are 100% something I can control. I can control if I'm being proof they work. I can control my PD. I can control my tracker. I can control that I'm putting out good content that is helping my challengers and my coaches hit their goals. That is 100% something I can control. And the more that I focus on controlling what I can control, the more like everything gets better. Not only like in the business, in my life, the more that I focus on controlling what I can control in my marriage or with my relationship with my kids or everything with social media right now. Life is great. It's great. Controlling what I can control makes everything better. So seriously, with the vitals, and if you guys be on the lookout, if you ever find a top coach that is telling you, you know what, I figured it out and I'm doing all the things. If you ever hear a top coach use that phrase, I'm doing all the things, let me know. Because I like literally look for it. I've never heard a top coach say that. I've heard coaches who are stuck say they're doing all the things and I'm doing all the things and how comes nothing's working? Holly Hillier's the #1 coach in the company. I've never heard her say she's doing all the things. And I bet you she is, except she's not. She's not doing all the things because there's always something that we gotta like, whatever. Ashley Molstad, Melanie Mitro, Julie, Micah, like that no one is doing all the things. Lindsay Matway, no one is doing all the things. And so getting that phrase, not that you said that, it just, my team knows that that's a phrase that like, don't come to me and say that phrase, because I will lovingly rip your face off. Because it's not a thing. It's not possible to do all the things.
You can feel like you are.
Yes. And most of the time, then that's when I get in, at least for me, that is not a good headspace.
Agree, me too.
Like, yeah, it's a bad headspace. And that's when I do the gut check thing of like, write it all down. And then I'm like, oh, no. Okay. Not doing all the things. Okay. Never mind. I know what to fix. And then as soon as but then that brings the empowerment feeling of like, yes, I can control this. And then the ball starts moving again because I feel like I can control it.
So I want to talk about two things that you said, or I want to have you unpack, or just bring to light and then have you unpack something else too. What you said about the gut check and all the different points, here's what we can't miss, because what you're not saying, but what's happening is you're gut checking and then you're actually taking action. And this space right here, and there's not one person on this call who can disagree with me, this is where we lose it. I've been doing this longer than anybody else. This is where we lose it. And when I say we, I mean me too. Oh, I know what I need to be doing, and we're not doing it. We're not taking action. We're sitting over here going, well, I think I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I should be doing that. And we're not doing anything about it. So Ashley, kudos to you that you got the gut check list and then you're actually taking action on it, because that is the disconnect right there. And then second, I'm wondering if you have written those items down exactly like what you just said, because if you have not, I recorded it and I will write them down. But if you have, I think that could be super valuable for everyone to not just look at the tracker, because that's what I tell people, look at the tracker. That tracker is the piece of paper that I wish I would have had for like the first, I've been a coach since caveman days. So I just wandered around going, I don't know what to do. And the tracker answered the question. But what you just unpacked in that tracker are actually the actions within each piece. You need to write that down.
Seriously, I always go back and I talk about this with my team, that they're always like, you gotta like write this down somewhere, because you always make me find the thing that's missing. And I do need to write it down. I'm gonna give myself a homework. I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna make it. So, and I think for me, one of the things that helps between the knowing and doing gap is figuring out why is this thing important to me? Why, perfect example. The elite report was not bringing me joy to look at in February and March. And it was fun being in the Sparta Nation team page, because y'all are in the top 10 and I'm like dying. I literally came into
no joy this month either. So we're right there with you. All right.
I was like constantly in Micah's threads. You guys, Julie just shouted out like 5 success starters. She is going to be in the top 10. Like, get ready. It is coming. And like, I was dying. And then you announced it in the team page, but it wasn't public knowledge yet. So I was like, I can't say anything, but I'm going to be so excited once the whole world knows. Like, So I was happy for you guys. My elite report sucked rocks to look at, and was like every month was falling farther behind, and the points were getting farther behind. And finally, like, okay, well, this sucks to look at. I know what's wrong. I'm not sending my invites. I'm not talking about coaching. Therefore, my coaches aren't rank advancing. My coaches aren't hitting Success Club. I'm hitting Success Club 10. My coaches are going to do like a third to a fourth of what I'm doing, which means they're going to get on the board and hit 2 to 4, which is exactly what was happening. I had coaches hitting 2 to 4, just like very few, like pushing it to 6. And like, I know what the problem is. How do I fix it? And that it like, well, why do I want to be elite? Why do I want to be elite? And that answer, I'm an Enneagram 3. Are you any of you guys Enneagram people? Enneagrams are like my favorite thing ever. Enneagram 3 is summit is my Disneyland. You give me a lanyard that goes to my knees and like medals that make a lot of noise when I walk because they're like clanking each other, and I get to go to a special party because I have a sparkly wristband that says I'm elite. Like, oh, I will do shady shit to earn that wristband. Like, that stuff is my like love language. And so, but like, you can't, that's not a reason to hit elite. And I tried for 3 years to have that be how I can't, I'm going to walk across the stage with the bright light. No, that's not why you hit elite. You hit elite because, or diamond or success club or insert word here, for usually your family. And because of something it will do for your family. So it occurred to me, okay, if I miss elite, or if like, and I mean, the elite report, at least for me, where I'm still like new-ish at building a team, when my elite report sucks and my SC number, like that shows up in my income. And so where when I'm doing the things, my team is doing the things, the elite report is showing the things, my income shows the things. So it became like, okay, well, what do we want to do with the income? If I like, when I turn things around and I start doing the things, what are we going to do with the income? How is this going to bless my family? And connecting those dots made me like, oh, okay, well, summer's coming. We want to get a fence. We want to get a backyard for the kids. We want to whatever. Okay, well, me busting out higher success club numbers, I can control my income regardless of what my team does. I can control my income right there. If I get my SC numbers up, my income will come up. And then imagine that my team comes along for the ride because my energy is better. I have better ideas. My posting is clearly better because if it's translating into sales, there's something I'm doing that's working. So then my team will like, oh, whatever Ashley's doing, let's go try that. And then they all up there. And then all of a sudden, hey, the elite report doesn't suck to look at. And we're 1 point away from having Premier locked already, which is like unheard of for me this early in the year. And we hit elite like Thanksgiving last year. Like it took, but we hit, but it took like way too long. And that's not happening this year. But it again, the report sucked. The March report sucked. And so there's the knowing, and the doing. For me, the bridge is figuring out why I care. Why do I care that my numbers are low? Why do I care? Why do I care that I'm not on my goal weight? Why do I care? That sounds like obvious, but it's not. Like I really do have to like, why do I care? Why do I care about my journey? Why? Because your brain, when Alana talks about this, that your brain, that's the first thing your brain will do when you're about to like mess up is, oh, I don't care. I'll start again Monday. I don't care. It's not that big a deal. Your brain will literally use the I don't care ideology. And so you have to like, why do you care? Why do you care about fixing this gap between knowing and doing? And when you care, you'll bridge it. It's, yeah. Did that help?
I did last year.
Yep.
Oh, we don't need to be elite. Doesn't really matter that much. What the freak was that? That's your brain. Like that's your fear and that's your brain. Yes, it absolutely. Yep. Oh, I don't really care that much. Yes, you do. Or you wouldn't be telling yourself you didn't care that much.
Yep. If you have to tell yourself you don't care, there is something there telling you that, well, then why am I thinking about it in the first place? It's right. Yeah.
What other questions? What other specific questions? Jen, did you have one?
I do. Oh yeah, I have questions. I followed you for a long time. I'm so happy you're on the call with us today.
Oh, I love being here. I was so excited.
I'm so happy. Okay, so I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to lead into this one with what you were just talking about with getting your elite points up. What are you doing? Maybe it's a two-part. Are your coaches coming from challenge groups, or do you recruit coaches just like
my coaches
cold market? Come on in.
Groups.
Challenge groups. Okay. And then do you do sneak peeks for those coach, or you just like invite them in? And what do you do with your new coaches to get them going? Yeah.
So I'm going to explain this, like, clearly I'm the most short-winded person in the world. So I'm going to like say this as fast as I can. Okay. So yeah, I lead with the challenge group. So when I send invites, like my typical like invite to someone is it's a challenge group invite. I get people in my challenge groups because in my head, if I can get you like falling in love with what's happening to your body and falling in love with the endorphins, and you found a community and you're losing weight while eating the same foods as your family, and you are feeling proud after a workout instead of miserable or like you were judged, and like you're feeling good feelings, but 90% of my job is done already, because now I just say, you feel really good. Do you want to help bring some people into the boot camp and you get the commission for it? Like I just feel like it's a very natural flow from there. So then, but that being said, when I'm doing a sneak peek, I do a sneak peek once a month, and it is just in Facebook, and it's like I feel like everybody's what is coaching. They're all basically the same thing. Talk about what we do. We share some success stories, have some urgency about why they should join. And this is one of those knowing doing gaps. When I'm on top of things, I send a one-on-one invite to all of my challengers from the last month-ish. So at some point, every challenger gets a one-on-one invite. Anyone who I've sent a one-on-one invite to and they didn't do it, but there's still someone that I'm like, dude, you have got to come do this, I'll invite them again. I post about it in my stories. I do posts about it. I post about it in my challenge groups. It's in my weekly email. Like, there's no possible way that they're going to be like, I didn't realize you were doing a sneak peek. Like, that's not a thing. They will know. And that usually, especially when I invite my challengers, my invite to my challengers is usually something along the lines of like, hey girl, you're freaking crushing the accountability group, and you're basically doing what a coach does. We have long-term accountability, long-term friendship, long-term income. And I would love to have you do this with me. Have you thought about coaching? Or, hey, I've noticed you've been a little MIA in the group, and I seriously think we need to talk about coaching, because I would have stopped working out about 2 weeks after I'd purchased my challenge pack if I didn't have my journey so public, because coaching has like changed the game for me. Have you thought about coaching? Because I really think it would help you with the accountability to stay consistent. So regardless of whether they're showing up or not, they're going to get the invite. And I don't like launch into I'm doing a call Tuesday night at 8, blah, blah, blah. I don't want like, have you thought about it? And 100, I'm not even going to say 99, 100% of the time, they come back and they're like, actually, I have thought about it, but I suck at social media. I have too much on my plate. I'm busy. I'm afraid. I'm. There's always the yeah, but. So, but they thought about it. So then okay, well, let's check out the sneak peek, and then we can talk about it, follow up after the sneak peek, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's how get them in the sneak peek, follow up afterwards. I'm not a dragger. If I have to like beg and plead you to watch a sneak peek and then beg and plead you afterwards to join my team, I'm going to have to beg and plead you to do your tracker. Like I'm not here for that life. So a lot of those people will come around. I found, like, I have one right now that's like, okay, I really am ready now. Let's do it. That she's been in like 5 sneak peeks, but she's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm struggling being consistent. I need help. And I think you're right. I think this is a big part of why you're so consistent, because it's your job to be healthy. I think I need that. And so anyway, so then they signed up. Yay, happy you signed up. So I have a Facebook group that is it's like my new coach training. It's just the back office videos that are like in the new coach section. So it's not anything I went and recreated. They're just in there, and they're in units. And then there's a thing about how to stay active, so they understand what that means, and like shows kind of some of the different products. So it says like, if you have like crazy amounts of Shakeology, here's some other things you can order, but it's your job to stay active. Make sure you stay active. And then it ends with Micah's tracker video of Micah explaining our tracker we use, because ours is like tiny. I think you guys have seen it. It's a tiny bit different than the Success Systems one. So it's Micah's video explaining that. And then it tells them at the end of the units, when you're done with all these, message me. I'll add you to the team page. I'll add you to my new coach message thread, and we'll schedule your one-on-one. And so they don't get calls, threads, one-on-one time with me until they can watch these videos. It is like a grand whopping like 2 hours to do all of it. Like, it's not like it's, okay, here's a 19-week course. Like, this is going to take you 2 hours. If they're serious, they're done in a day. And if they're not, I mean, I have one who's still dragging her feet 2.5 months later. Do you think I regret that she and I didn't do a one-on-one? Nope. If she can't make time to watch the video about the tracker, then the frig is she going to make the time to do the tracker? Like, that's someone that I'm okay that I didn't give you a one-on-one yet. But then they finish and they're like, yay, I'm done. And so then I send them the link to the team page so they have the ownership of requesting to join. And then once I see it come through, I add them to my new coach message thread, do their shout out. Everybody welcomes them. Yay, happy, joy. We have a new coach GSR. We do once a month that's recorded. So I tag them in it in the team page so that they can see it's what they just did, but they need to hear it again. They need to hear how important Success Club is. They need to hear that they need to get to Emerald. Reminder of the vitals. Reminder, like, you do the tracker. Crush your journey, show it on social media. Like, that's what we're doing. Don't complicate this. As Julie says, push play, drink a shake, read a book, talk to people. Like, that's what we're doing. And then we schedule our one-on-one and they tell me about them. So I know, like, it's very much them talking, and they tell me their goals. Like, we transition that into like, okay, so tell me what you want out of this. And I literally will tell them, because if your goal is to make enough to cover your Shakeology, I'm going to mentor you a little different than if you tell me you want to pay off 6 figures of debt. Like, I'm going to help you a little different depending on because I want to help you hit your goals. That's my job, is to help you hit your goals. What are your goals? And so usually it come up that they want to at least cover their product, but usually it's bigger than that. And so then, okay, your first goal is Success Club. You hit Success Club. That means we're going to help 3 people. And one of those people is going to be your spouse. We're going to get you signed up. That video is going to talk about it. So make sure you watch that GSR. But I want you to at least hit Success Club 6, but I think you should probably aim for SC 10, because then you're going to get double the leads. Here's kind of a little bit how the leads work. Do you have any questions? No, I think I'm good. So then we talk about their like coming out post, and basically it's tell me about who you were before you bought your challenge pack and why you are so grateful that you bought that challenge pack. What has happened since then? Have you found a community? Have you found something that's getting you results? Have you whatever? That's what they do for their coming out post. And then I tell them, as people start messaging you about like, oh, you look awesome, what are you doing? Message me, I'll help you with your conversations. So that as we're going live, I teach them about like, okay, so ask about their goals, keep lists so we can follow up and whatever. And that's making it so they're helping people their first month, because they're getting somebody to sign up. And then usually when they get somebody, they're like, oh my gosh, I got somebody. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk to them about the discount. So they get a coach, then they get their husband, then, oh my gosh, we're already at SC4, keep pushing, find one more person. Oh my gosh, I had Success Club 6. Okay, keep going. And it like kind of snowballs from there. So granted, that being said, I don't have like 8,000 diamonds on my team. Like I'm not Micah. So I don't want you guys to think like, dude, everyone she signs up, like, does it? They don't all do it, but it is working. The ones that I'm coming in that are doing it, it's working. They're hitting Success Club. They're making money. One of them just went diamond. I have another one who's right around the corner. They both went Success Starter. I've never had as many coaches in the Success Starter like windows as we do right now. So it's working, and it's I feel like it's very baby step, and part of me kind of struggles with that because I'm not a hand holder. I'm very much like, I want to send you a 75-page PDF in order of what you should do, and just read it and do the things in order, and you will hit all the goals. But that's not how other people's brains work. They need things like baby stepped. So not adding them to my team page, and they see we're doing weekly team calls, and they see that we're doing Wednesdays we wear pink, and we make this graphic of everybody in the team wearing pink, but they're not in it, that they get super like, how do I get in on that? finish the new coach training so you can be in the team page. That's how you'll get in on it. That it makes them like, oh, okay, all right. Like they're feeling urgency because they're missing part of the team because they're not done with their training. But because if you don't know, like I've just found if they haven't gone through the new stuff and they get put in the team page where we have a lot of calls, and that like the training will just get put on the back burner. They won't do it. And then they'll have no clue how to set up their direct deposit, or they'll realize they never set up their pictures in the back office, and then you don't qualify for the lead program, and all these like little things that need to happen, they get put on the back burner. So that was a lot. Did that make sense?
Totally made sense.
Okay.
That wasn't a lot. That was perfect. How long is your sneak peek? 1 day, 3 days, 5 days?
One, and it's one
day.
call. So
it's a call, not a group. Okay.
So it's a group, but it's like we get on Zoom and we do it like all in one shot. So when they come in, it's one recording. So it's not, does that make sense? So we've done it before where like Ashley's going to go live and kick it off, and then Sarah's going to hop on and tell her story, and then so-and-so, like, so they come in and they're like, whoa, there's 7 live video. Like, it's one Zoom recording that they watch one, and it's all the info right there.
And do you record that every single month, or it's just a recording that you put in? It's live every month.
Yeah.
Every month. Okay. That helps.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, that was a good question.
The other point I'm hearing you say, Ashley, that what you're doing is duplicatable. Because
yes.
As you said, you were very specific in that you took the videos from the Coach Online office that goes in. You're not sitting behind a camera and doing all the things because it's already been done for us. So you're also teaching these new coaches that they don't have to do that.
Well, and I more than anything have discovered you guys are my people, because you guys understand it is the greatest problem in the world. I want to preface by saying that it is hard to have a successful upline sometimes. It is hard to know where your voice is when there's them. Why does my team need me? They have Micah. Are you freaking kidding? Superstar 3 qual. She's gonna be like the 3rd coach in the history of the company, or like 5th, whatever. Not, you can count them on one hand, have done what she's about to do. Who the heck do they need me? Why would anybody join me when they could have Micah? At number 1, that's not nice to yourself. So don't go down that rabbit hole. But it's the best of all. My team gets the best of all worlds. I do not need to come in and remake every video Micah has ever made, because Micah's awesome and wants to share that with me. So I don't need to redo it. My team can learn from Micah, and I can have threads where it's just me and I'm the one pouring into my girls and helping them connect the dots between what Micah said and what they're doing, so that they like, oh, that's what she meant. So they can like connect it. And there's some things that I do, like I do my own team calls, I do my own challenge groups, I do my own but I use a lot of Micah's resources because I've discovered this. I decided at one point I needed to go in and recreate my own thing, and my diamonds all went in and all recreated their own thing. Because if Ashley can't use Micah's, we can't use Ashley's. So we need to and it created this whoa, what are you guys doing? And so when I stepped back and okay, I'm going to use Micah's. I'm getting on Micah's team call. Are you guys getting on Micah's team call? Because PS, I'm not Micah's PS. I don't know if you guys, I'm Micah's granddaughter, technically. And my upline rocks. She's a 10-star, 3-time elite coach. It's not like I'm abandoned. I have a really good upline. But my upline doesn't recreate the wheel. She plugs us into Micah. So I just feel like I started going on a weird, but I'm very into trying to make things duplicatable and trying to make things, if it's something that I need to go in and redo, that there's a dang good reason why I'm redoing it. Otherwise, I do our sneak peeks, I run them with Micah still. And our new coach GSR, we do once a month. We do it with Micah. So there's 5 elite coaches or 5 5-stars, whatever. and we take turns on who's doing the new Coach GSR, who's doing the Emerald in 24 hours, who's doing the new, I just said, whatever. Emerald in 24 hours, GSR, sneak peek. And we take turns on who's doing what, so that it makes it so that we're not all having to do everything every month, but we do it together. And then I help my coaches help me with some of the stuff so that I'm giving them the opportunity, because it helps me a lot confidence-wise to like, it's one thing to get on and do a little call for my team, to get on and do a call for like all the sneak peek people from Micah's whole down. Like that's a very different audience than like who I invited to a sneak peek. And so I try to find ways like that to help my team build their confidence and give them opportunities to speak in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's no point to recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
If you have an upline or a team that's, has solid resources. And there's also it's such a detriment when and we've seen it on our team, the coaches are like, no, I got this. And then they go away from and do their own thing. And they stop plugging into the team page. I'm like, that's going to be a mistake on our end.
Yep.
And in 12 years, 100%, I've seen it every time.
I was just going to say, with my diamonds, I have 100% seen it happen too.
So you've got to find the balance between the connecting into the larger team page, because if you have a larger, vibrant upline, big team, they're going to be able to pull a lever that you might not be able to pull and get something on there. So now you've got this cool resource that you can do. But at the same time, you have your own voice and you want your own stuff.
Yes. So that's exactly, finding that there is a sweet spot and finding it. Every person, what it looks like is different for every person. But when you find it, like for me, one of my sweet spots is my weekly email. I don't copy and paste or like forward what Micah's email. That's Micah's words. But I send a weekly email to my clients because it got to the point that I can't one-on-one with 2,000 people. Mm-hmm. Great problem to have. The lead program, my gosh, that starts to compound after a minute. And so but like that email, when I get to like look for every resource in the Beachbody blog, Shakeology recipes, normal recipes, whatever, our book club of the month, all those things that I put together, that email makes me like, this is why somebody needs me. Mm-hmm. And they will get Micah, and they will get Jaylyn, and they will get like all the things that we get access to. I mean, my upline doesn't stop at Micah. It also goes up to Janelle. And then we go to Christine Dwyer. And you guys are somewhere in the Christine tree too.
Right under her. She's my direct upline.
Okay. I've always wondered, Jake was asking me that the other day. He was like, who's Julie's coach? So I was like, I have no idea.
I'm one of the couple that's right underneath her.
That's awesome. There's just a couple. So it's amazing to me how it takes a long time to find that. I was the coach who waited it wasn't that long, 2.5 years before I left my uplines challenge group and stayed out. I would leave, and then I would realize maybe I can't do this. And I would come back, and because I didn't trust myself, and I'd leave and I'd team up with somebody, and it didn't work. I'm going to come back. And I was hitting Success Club. I'd hit Success Club 27 months in a row, and I still wasn't running my own challenge groups because I just did not. I don't know. I don't know what the heck was going on there. I had like the worst limiting beliefs in the whole world. But when I found that okay, no, I can do this. I know how to run a challenge group. I can do this, and told myself I could do it. Then it made it so now I can help my coaches not only run a challenge group, but run a challenge group without feeling like they don't ever have to talk to me again. Let's collaborate. I'm going to give you some resources. These are things you can post in your group. These are recipes to share with your people, but you run the group. You do the posts so that they see you. So we're staying close to the fire, but they're running their own group. And it's I do, we do, you do. Is that what that saying is? That I've 100% seen my coaches who follow that and don't just come in deciding they want to do things on their own, but they those are the ones who stick around and they don't burn out. So your upline knows what they're talking about. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Your upline knows what they're talking about. There's a reason they haven't experienced burnout. And not even that they haven't experienced burnout. When Julie came to the super weekend in January, she was like, I don't even know how anyone could think burnout is a thing. How could you get burned out doing this? How could you get what we do? where's the burnout? We are our best selves and help other people be their best selves for a freaking job. Where's the burnout on this? And I think the burnout comes when you don't stay close to the fire. When you decide you know better than someone who if someone above you is telling you that is making astronomical amounts of money and is very successful and is telling you they don't feel burned out, but you feel burned out because you're doing too many things, that's a sign you're not anywhere near close enough to the fire. Because there are things that they are doing that you are trying to redo that you do not need to redo, because you should not be feeling burnout. Because if they don't feel burned out with what they have on their plate, you most assuredly should not feel burned out. Does that make sense?
That was a mic drop right there.
That burnout phrase is one that I like. Every time I feel it, that I'm like, why do I feel burned out? Julie never feels burned out. Micah never feels burned out. There's something, again, that's that like, okay, there's something I got to figure out what it is. And it's always that I'm trying to recreate something that I don't need to recreate. And if I just humble myself to use what Micah has, the burnout goes away.
And it's an interesting personal growth journey. You know, James Clear just had that great quote that entrepreneurship is really just a personal growth journey. And I think we all feel different things. I don't feel burned out ever. I can get frustrated. I can feel like I'm on a plateau. I can feel less motivated one day than another. None of those things are burnout.
Right.
They're just different emotions, but they're never burned out. I don't ever wake up one day and go, yeah, I'm just kind of done with this whole coaching thing because I'm burnt out. What the freak? No, that never happens. I have other emotions, other pieces of my journey that I have to work through, just like everybody else does. They're just never burned out.
Right.
You know, and I think the burnout comes maybe if you don't recognize that it is actually something else that you need to work through, or that it's the plateau that you need to work through to get to the next level. And then you just stay right here. You call it burnout, when actually, no, it was just a period of you being uncomfortable, needing to grow.
Yep. And I think, or I think it's, as humans, as women, I just think we like to make things complicated. This business is not complicated. No. There are aspects that we could, like, trying to explain the comp plan to someone, let alone, I'm a numbers person. So the fact that Micah has 7 CVCs and 2 with JD makes my brain like, oh, that would be awesome.
She loves the juggling of balls. She and I talked about that one time. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I love all the balls. I go, I super don't.
I love it. So but like, I can get so focused on the volume and balancing the volume between my first and Jake and my second and the elite report and making sure pulling up the sponsorship drill down and exporting it so I can make my leaderboards and blah, blah, blah. We can make this as complicated as we want it to be. But when it comes down to brass tacks, this is not complicated. You drink a shake, you do a workout, you fall in love with your body to the point that you can't shut up about it, and you help other people fall in love with their body too. Like, that is what we do. And when we feel burnout, it's because that isn't what's happening, because there's focus on selling. And I mean, I could get that if you're like, I'm getting tired of selling and I just don't want to sell. Dude, I'd have bowed out forever ago if this was a sales job. Mm-hmm. And I think there are people who are like, well, this is a sale. No, it's not. The Months of Success Club is hard, which hasn't happened in a long time. But when Success Club used to be hard for me, it was because I was trying to sell. When you're not trying to sell, when you are so focused on loving what is happening to you, it like comes out your eyeballs. People can see it. Mm-hmm. And it is like a magnet that people like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And people who have been on the fence all of a sudden will get off the fence. And that doesn't mean that you have to be expanding, you have to be connecting, you have to like tracker, you have to be talking to people. But this isn't sales. Anyway, I'm going on all the tangents, but this isn't a sales job. And I think people who get stuck in that this is a sales job, they're not doing PD, because the mindset, that's a mindset. Like, no, I don't ever feel like what I do is sales. Sometimes I'm like, wait, am I in network marketing? Because in my head, no, I'm not. I help people love my challenge groups. And if they really like my challenge group, I teach them how to run really good challenge groups. Mm-hmm. and I guess technically that is network marketing, but I don't like look at it that way. But again, I think that goes back to the vitals are the vitals for a reason. I'm obsessed with the vitals. They freaking work when you're doing them.
So what's your favorite? So we'll do a speed round. What's your favorite PD book right now? Say it again. You said it.
Unf Yourself by Gary John Bishop. It's like the actual F word. It's like UNFU*K yourself from Gary John Bishop.
Okay. So some people haven't read
Audible.
That, and that's a good one to read. Okay. And what are you listening to that or reading that?
That one's my favorite on Audible because he's Scottish. So his voice is great.
It's like listening to Sean Connery or something like Jack. Yes. That would be amazing.
Yes. Except it's like Sean Connery yelling at you about how you need to get out of your own way because it's your fault you're not achieving your goals because you're capable. And it's like, say it again. Like he's so great. He's so great.
I love that. Okay, so what are you reading? Hard copy.
It's called Grace Not Perfection by Emily Lee. I don't know how you say her last name. But
anything else you've read this year that has influenced or impacted you?
Alana's book is amazing. You Can Drop It. Oh my gosh. And my Essentialism. I don't know why I just did number 2. The Essentialism from Greg. Yeah, that's how you say it. I'm like, I don't know how you say this. That one. The picture of like, if you guys haven't seen Essentialism, it's a ball and it has like a whole bunch of little lines coming out of it. And it's about like, if you're trying to do all these little things, you don't really accomplish your goals. But if you stop doing all these little lines and just put all that effort into one line, it's like a big line. Mm-hmm. And so it's about like cutting things out so you do the thing that will get you to your goals. It's like every time I read it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like a painful PD book for me to read because it's one that is like drinking from a fire hose because it's not my brain. My brain doesn't think like that at all. So it's very like, yes, like I've read that one multiple times. Intentional Living from John Maxwell. Mm-hmm. It's all about like not just having an intentional business, not just being an intentional mom, not just being an intentional wife, or being an intentional daughter of God, or intentional with your finances, or intentionally keeping a clean house. Like all of it, how to have an intentional life. And those things don't happen on accident. How to have an intentional life. And there was one more I was just going to say. Miracle Equation from Hal Elrod. Have you guys read that one? Oh my gosh. It's about, there's 2 things you need to do like whatever you want in this life. And if you look back on things you've accomplished that you're really proud of, you did this and you didn't realize it. You need unwavering belief that like, I don't care if I stay up all night. I'm going to study for this final because I'm going to crush this because I have to. I'm going to stay up all night if I have to because this is going to work. If I stay up all night, it's going to work. And then you have extraordinary effort. I actually stay up all night and study for this test. And then guess what? I pass the test. I get the grade I need. I finish school. I get the degree. I get the scholarship. Whatever. So it's about unwavering belief plus extraordinary effort achieves anything you want in this life. And it's amazing. It's, oh my gosh, that book is like, and Hal Elrod's the one who wrote Miracle Morning. Mm-hmm. So it's, oh my gosh. And his story is amazing. And he just overcame like one of the most rare, insane kinds of cancer ever. And he goes into it really in depth in Miracle Equation that he basically like affirmation and juice cleansed his way out of a cancer that was supposed to kill him like rapidly. But he put forth the unwavering belief that like, no, this is not going to kill me. Like, I'm going to be alive for my kids. Like, I am going to be alive. This is going to go away. And then the extraordinary effort into every medicine, hypnotherapy, like everything he could think of. And it went away. And it like, so he talks about it in that book too. And he talks about his car accident that I'm sure if you read Miracle Morning, you know about his car accident, but it's just about how he like, it's not just this cool concept, but then he applies it to real people that like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and LeBron James and all these people that they do the Miracle Equation. That's why we know who they are, because they have unwavering belief in themselves and then put forth extraordinary effort until they get the thing they want. So that book is freaking amazing too.
Okay, last question. How'd you like salted caramel Shakeology?
Oh my gosh. I'm not a caramel person, but it is. Guys, the seasonal ones, I don't know what it is they do to them. I am that Shakeology person that like do not mix it with water. Like and my mom mixes Shakeology with room temperature water. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
like I can't. So my favorite Shakeology is like almond milk and frozen banana and extract and peanut butter. Like you have to add all the, oh no, salted caramel, just shaken in a cup is freaking delightful. I don't know what it is about the seasonal ones that they're just great by themselves. But then if you blend it with like a little bit of water and a little bit of almond milk and a frozen banana, that is like summer in a cup. And I'm not a caramel person, so I was fully planning on getting 1 box so I could tell my team I bought some, and it's like, oh no, I will be buying 5 boxes. It's fine. I'm fine. We're fine.
I wanted to love it more, but I'm not a super sweet person. I'm a salty person.
And I'm like, give me all the sugar. All the sugar.
I would rather have the salt. So I'm just constantly, I don't know who I messaged. I think I messaged Doug Moss today. I'm like, is there just some pumpkin spice in a warehouse somewhere that you are hiding from me? Because just send it. Why? Just stop hiding it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it till October or whenever we launch pumpkin spice again.
See, and I love pumpkin spice, but I bought 5 boxes, and then because I'd raved about it so much, my mom bought 5 boxes, and she hated it. And so all of a sudden and I'm like, what is this travesty? How do you like? It's fine. So that's how I had so many. When you were like, I'm out, then I was like, oh, I have some because I had all the, yeah. I love the seasonal ones.
And Ashley Odenweller, I ordered some decals and I opened up my box. I'm like, wow, that's a big box for decals. I opened up and she sent me a box. And I'm like,
thank you. Best. Her decals, I'm like mildly obsessed.
I know. She's amazing.
Yeah,
She's amazing. Well, you're amazing too, Ashley. We're so thankful that you shared an hour of your day with us today.
Of course.
Mics and I took notes and you had bombs and it was a lot of real talk, which speaks to my heart. I love it so much. And I think that these girls did too. So I recorded it. I'll upload it, download it. I'll make it unlisted and then we'll get it to you. But let's do a little boomerangy, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
I'm also obsessed with the glitter filter. My girls are like, that's just like what you do now. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do now. So everything has glitter. So you guys want to like high five or do something and I'll just boomerang it. I'll pan across. Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, didn't take. Do it again. It's the filter. Sometimes it's tricky. 1, 2, 3. I gotcha. So cute.
I love it.
Yeah.
And no boomerang.
When will I don't know when I'll see you. When will we ever see anyone ever again?
Praying leadership. The prayers are real. I need leadership so badly.
We'll hope something this year. But thank you so much. We just so appreciate your time. It was great. So worth it. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You guys
thank you so much.